Alright, starting with the pre-trip for the A truck. Starting with my keys in my pocket and my wheels and chalk. I'm going to start with my ID clearance lights on my truck and my ID clearance lights on my trailer and my turn signal lights. They're not cracked, not broken, and secured. Amber in the front, red to the rear of the truck, red to the rear of the trailer. No condensation. My windshield is not cracked, not broken, and secured. No obstructions, no outdated stickers. The seal around the windshield is not dry rot free. My windshield wipers, they're flush to the windshield. They're not cracked, not broken, and secured. No, not dry rot free. My fender mirror, my spot mirror, and my flat mirror. They're all not cracked, not broken, and secured. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. My headlights are not cracked, not broken, and secured. Clean and clear, no condensation. My tag is securely mounted to the bumper, no outdated stickers. My suspension is balanced. If it wasn't balanced, I'll place my vehicle out of service. No leaks or puddles or broken glass or hanging wires underneath the vehicle. If I had that, I would place my vehicle out of service. All tires are properly inflated to the manufacturer's specification. Now I'm opening up my hood. Come on over to the passenger side. I'm gonna start here on my passenger side with my radiator and my radiator hose. They're not cracked, not broken, and secured, and no leaks. The hose is not dry rot free, it's properly clamped, no leaks. The bottom radiator hose goes to my water pump, which is underneath my alternator. It's not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, and no leaks. It's belt driven. My alternator is also belt driven. It's not cracked, not broken, and secure, and no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. My belt is not dry rot free. It's not cracked, not broken, and secure, with no more than 3/4 of play. All right, come on in and get a picture of that there. So the belt, the alternator, and the water pump is underneath. All right. Now, which connects to my manifold is my exhaust, and it runs underneath the cab, and it goes to the back of the truck. And my exhaust is not cracked, not broken, and secure. No leaks. And if it had any leaks, it'll show black soot. The exhaust. Now, my catwalk and my steps. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, free of debris. Now, inside my vehicle is my fully charged fire extinguisher, 3 reflective triangles, and spare fuses. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure. Okay? Now, my fuel tank is not cracked, not broken, and secure. No leaks. The cap is hand tightened with a rubber seal and a metal chain. And my tank is held up with metal and rubber straps. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, not dry rot free. All right? No leaks. Come on around now to the driver's side. So on my driver's side, I'm gonna start with all the loose components here. My engine oil dipstick, transmission dipstick, my windshield washer fluid reservoir, my air compressor. Come on in and get that air compressor. All right, my air compressor. All right, my power steering fluid reservoir, my coolant reservoir, and my gearbox. All of these parts are not cracked, not broken, and secure. No leaks, and they should read between the add and the full mark. My air compressor is gear driven. And how I would check my dipsticks, I'll pull them out, wipe them off, insert them back in, pull them back out, and they should read between the add and the full mark. Now, system number 1, steering system. So I have my steering shaft and my steering linkage. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure. Should have no more than 2 inches of play, no debris wrapped around it, And my steering linkage is connected by castle nuts and cotter pins. Okay? Now, system number 2, braking system. Now, I have my ABS line, my brake hose. They're not cracked, not broken and secure, and not dry rot or frayed with no leaks. The brake hose go to the brake chamber. It's not cracked, not broken and secure, not dented with no leaks. Then I have the push rod, the slack adjuster, and they're not cracked, not broken and secure, and no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. When I pull on it by my hand, it should not be able to be pulled no more than 1 inch with the brakes released. Inside the wheel is my brake drum. So inside the wheel is the brake drum. It's not cracked, not broken and secure, not dented. And inside the brake drum, I have my brake shoe lining. They're not cracked, not broken and secure, not worn, dangerously thin. Now, my suspension. My suspension, I have my leaf springs, my U-bolts sitting on the axle, held up by the hangers. Hangers have mounting bolts, and they're connected to the frame. And I have my shock absorber. And all of these parts are not cracked, not broken and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, not shifted or missing, and no leaks from the shock absorber. Now, I'm going to go to my drive axle and inspect my braking system parts and my trailer system parts, and my suspension parts the same way as I did in the front by naming my braking system parts, my ABS line, the brake hose, the brake chamber, the push rod, slack adjuster, brake drum, and brake shoe liner. I will inspect those parts the same way as I did in the front. My suspension, my leaf springs, my U-bolts, my axle, my hangers, the hanger mounts, the shock absorber. I will inspect those parts the same way as I did in the front, with the exception that I have my rubber bellow here, the spacer, the bracket, and the torque arm. And all of these parts are not cracked, not broken and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, not dry rot or frayed with no leaks from the bellow. Okay? I will inspect those parts. Now, I'll go to my trailer parts. My braking system on my trailer and the suspension on my trailer. These parts, you're going to be CDL minded here. So, my trailer, braking system parts, my ABS line, the brake hose, the brake chamber, the push rod, slack adjuster, the brake drum, and the brake shoe lining. I will inspect those parts the same way as I did in the front. My suspension, my leaf springs, the U-bolts, the axle, the hangers, the hanger mounts, the shock absorber, the bellow, the spacer, the bracket, and the torque arm. I will inspect all of those parts the same way as I did in the front. Now my front steering axle. My front steering wheel, the tire is not cracked, not broken and secure, properly inflated to the manufacturer specification. Tread is evenly worn, no cuts or bulges on the side walls, and the tread should be no less than 432 in the front. Front tire cannot be recapped. All other tires can be recapped, and they should be no less than 232 in tread depth. Now, how I would check my tread depth is with a depth gauge. And how I check my air pressure is with a rubber mallet or air pressure gauge. And my drive axle tires and my trailer axle tires, I will inspect them the same way as I did in the front, with the exception that these tires should not be mismatched, nor should they be rubbing in the middle. Okay? Now, right here, my front steering rim is not cracked, not broken, insecure. and no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. I will inspect my drive axle rim and my trailer axle rim the same way as I did here in the front, but this is a bud rim. Stay where you are. This is a bud rim, so there should be no debris in the middle. Come show the middle. There should be no debris in the middle. All lug nuts on my front steering axle, drive axle, and trailer axle. They're all not cracked, not broken, and secure. None are loose or missing. If they were loose or missing, they would show rust or shininess. My valve stem on my steering axle, drive axle, and trailer axle, the valve stems are not cracked, not broken, and secured. No leaks with the metal cap. My oil hub is not cracked, not broken, and secured. No loose or missing parts, no leaks. I will inspect my drive axle on my drive axle and my trailer axle the same way as I did in the front with no leaks. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to close up the hood. I'm going to go to the passenger side, strap it down. Strap down on the passenger side, go to the driver's side, come down on my driver's side, and I'm going to strap that down. Now, I'm going to open and close my door. So my door on my truck and on my trailer, let's slide over this. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds come around. My door hinges are not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. The rubber seal around the door is not dry rot or frayed. It's not cracked, not broken, and secure, not dry rot or frayed. My handrails are not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. My air tanks on my truck and on my trailer, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure. No leaks, drain daily, free of condensation. Now, my electric connection, my emergency and service connector box, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, and no leaks. My dummy coupling, my cable connector holder, and my drive shaft. The drive shaft is not cracked, not broken. All of these parts are not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, and no debris wrapped around the universal joints on my drive shaft. Now, my electric line and my service and emergency hoses, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure, not dry rot or frayed, and no leaks. My glad hands and electric connectors on my hoses, on my lines, and the connector box, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts, and no leaks. And the rubber grommets inside are not dry rot or frayed. My 3 lines that run underneath the vehicle, emergency, electric, and service, on my trailer, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure, not dry rot or frayed, and no leaks. Now, I drop to my 5th wheel. My 5th wheel is properly greased with no gap. It sits on a platform. Platform have mounting bolts, and my release arm is in the lock position, which means my lock jaws are locked around the kingpin, and the kingpin is securely mounted to the apron. And all of these parts are not cracked, not broken, and secure, and no illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. Now, I covered my braking system and suspension on my drive axle, so that's finished. Now I go to my mud flap on my truck and on my trailer. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure, not dry rot or frayed, and not dragging. The DOT tape on my truck and on my trailer, along with reflectors, they're not cracked, not broken, and secure, clean and clear. Now, in the rear of my truck and my brake lights, they're red in color. The rear of my trailer, all my rear brake lights and turn signal lights, red in color. My reverse light on my truck is white in color, and my tag light on my trailer is white in color. All of these parts are not cracked, not broken, and secure, and no condensation. Now, you mentioned your clearance. of 303. The 0 meaning no gap, right? All right. So now come around to my header board. My header board is not cracked, not broken and secured. Strong enough for cargo not to crash through. Okay. Now, my skirt is metal. My landing gear. So I have my landing gear leg, the bracket, and the pad is in the raised position, and my crank is in the lock position. This is it. And all of these parts are not cracked, not broken, they're secured. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. And the pad is in the raised position. My crank is in the lock position. Okay? Now walk down the trailer. My trailer deck and the frame is not cracked, not broken, and secure. No holes in the deck. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. To my ABS light. ABS light is not cracked, not broken, and secure. Clean and clear. Amber in color. No condensation. To the rear of the truck. ID clearance lights, turn signal lights, and brake lights are red in color. They're not cracked, not broken, and secure. No condensation. Tag tag light is white in color, no condensation. My tag is securely mounted to the bumper, to the trailer with no outdated stickers. My DOT bumper is not cracked, not broken, and secure. No illegal welds, no loose or missing parts. And now I will tell the DLA at this point right here that I will enter the vehicle with 3 points of contact, okay? So now the DLA, you're the DLA. So you go on up there because you already told them how you're going to enter. And you come on down. Now, I got my key out. And now, I'm going to enter my vehicle with 3 points of contact. Come on in. 3 points of contact. Now, so I enter 3 points of contact, and first thing I do is put my seat belt on. My seat and my seat belt properly locks. The belt is not frayed. I put my key in the ignition. I'm going to tell the DLA I'm going to use a safe start. So I turn the key one time, and I'm going to point to my ABS light. My ABS light went out. It properly works. And now I can turn the vehicle on at this moment of time and build up my air pressure. Okay, now my steering wheel has no more than 2 inches of play. City horn, air horn properly works. My mirrors are adjusted for me. And now I'm going to use my turn signal indicator, left turn signal indicator, right turn signal indicator, my four-way flashers, and my high beam indicators. They all properly work. Now I turn them off, and I make my windshield wipers spray to show that they're flush to the windshield. Okay? Now, my gauges. My oil pressure gauge reads 5 to 20 PSI. It properly works. The water gauge rises when the vehicle warms up. It properly works. And if I reach 260, I place my vehicle out of service because the vehicle is overheating. My tachometer and speedometer, they properly work. The voltmeter reads 12 to 14. It properly works. My fuel should be read half to full. My air pressure gauges should reach the governor cutout rate. Let's see. All right, they reached the governor cutout rate. And now, I'm going to turn my vent on. You want to turn it on defrost. Make sure it's on the heat. Then you put it on defrost, turn it on, let it cut on. You feel at the top. Make sure it blows. You feel down the bottom. Make sure it blows. Then you turn it on to the vent. Turn it on the vent, feel for the vent. The air should flow out. It's flowing out. It properly works. Now I turn it off. Now, I'm ready to perform my air brake test. So now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to tell the DLA that I'm going to perform my tug test. My tug test is my parking brake test on page 5657. All right, so now I'm gonna push my parking brake in first, and I'm gonna put my vehicle in drive and tug against the trailer brake. Starting now, and my trailer brake should hold. Starting now, I push in my parking brake. My trailer brake is holding. I put my vehicle in drive. Vehicle is in drive, and I tap my accelerator. My trailer brake held. It properly worked. Now, pull the parking brake out. Push in the trailer brake. I'm still in drive. Now, I tap my accelerator. My parking brake should hold. Starting now. My parking brake held. It properly worked. So now I put my vehicle in neutral. Pull my trailer brake out. Now, for my service brake test. For my service brake, I just have to say what I'm going to do. I'm going to put my vehicle in drive. I would drive 5 miles an hour forward and apply the service brake, and the vehicle should not pull to the left or pull to the right with no unusual feeling. All right? Now, I'm going to let my air build up before I turn my vehicle off. There's the governor cutout rate. You heard that? All right, so now I have enough air in my vehicle to perform the rest of my test. So now I'm gonna put 3 fingers up. These 3 fingers represent that I'm gonna, 1, turn the truck off, 2, turn the key on so my dash lights up, and 3, push in my parking brake and trailer brake. Starting now. 1, turn the truck off. 2, turn the key on so my dash lights up. If the dash doesn't light up, you didn't do something right. So make sure that the dash lights up. 3, push in my parking brake and trailer brake. Let the air settle. Now the air settled. Now I'm going to tell the DLA, now I'm going to hold my service brake down for my low air leakage test, and I should not lose no more than 4 PSI within that minute. And I'm going to start now. So I'm looking at my time. I started with my second hand on the 9, and it's going to go all the way around for 1 minute. You cannot come off your foot. Your foot cannot come off of the service brake at 57, at 58, or 59, 61, 2, or 3. 60 seconds is 1 minute, okay? Don't hold any conversations. You just focus on your time. And you focus on your air. Make sure that you're not losing no more than 4 PSI. And I just tap on the brake. You don't have to try to force it all the way down to the floor or nothing like that. So we have 5 seconds left. One minute is up. I did not lose no more than 4 PSI within that minute. Now I'm going to fan my brakes down to 60 PSI. And when I get to 60 PSI, my low air pressure buzzer and indicator should come on. And then I will continue to fan my brakes down to 40 to 20 PSI. And the brakes that I pushed in should pop out. Starting now. Fanning my brakes. I got the 60 PSI. My low air pressure indicator and buzzer came on. They properly work. Now I'm looking at my brakes that I pushed in. They both popped out, so they properly work. So now I'm going to turn my truck off, take the key out. I turn on my lights, my 4-way flashes. Turn the high beam on. I get out. I check all lights, ID clearance lights, and my turn signal lights, and the high beams in the front. Check my rear brakes on the truck. Check the lights in the back of the truck. Check the lights in the back of the trailer. Come back in. Turn the four ways off. Turn the left turn signal on. Check the front left turn signal. Check the back of the truck. Check the back of the trailer. Come back in. Turn the right turn signal on. Check the front of the truck. Check the back of the trip. Check the back of the trailer. Come back in. Turn the signal off. Push in the brake. Ask the DLA. DLA will be in the back of the truck to see that, make sure that your brake lights work. They properly work. So now you ask, do I have enough points to pass my pre-trip at this moment here? If they say yes, then you say, this concludes my pre-trip. All right?